Hi, Sue Ellson here. Today, I'd like to share with you the essential updates to make on your LinkedIn profile. So first of all, you can see here, I have a resume. This is obviously a sample resume. I do recommend this format because it's applicant tracking system friendly. And what I recommend is you fill in everything, and then for any job that you are specifically interested in, you might take out some information or you might reorder it or whatever. But the idea in this particular resume is to have everything. So professional skills, technical skills, personal skills, industry experience, international experience and interest, then a career snapshot with the dates, titles, and company names for the individual roles you've been in. Then a bit of an employment history. So here we describe the achievements in past tense, the tasks in present tense, and a description of the organisation. And then also you go through for all the other roles as well, back to the beginning of your career. Then your educational qualifications, courses, and other details that might be relevant. So the other thing that I have open here is LinkedIn on a tab. You can see I'm doing this on a desktop computer. I also recommend a laptop. I do not recommend a tablet or a mobile phone because you don't have the same options. And I've also opened a Newcrest Mining YouTube channel and found a video that I can put on a LinkedIn profile as well. So signing in, and it's not one of those accounts, so we'll just sign into mine. And as soon as you sign into LinkedIn, you end up on the page with a news feed in the middle. So the other thing that I do on my internet browser is I click the three dots. I'm using Google Chrome, and I choose settings, and I choose downloads, and I always ask where to save each file before downloading. So that's just another quick setting, and then you can close that tab. Feel free to pause this video at any time if I'm going too quickly for you. All right, so now we're going to do a backup, and there's two different types of backups you can do on your LinkedIn profile. The first one is from your own LinkedIn profile. You can click the More button. You can also do this on anyone else's LinkedIn profile and choose Save to PDF. Now, this is not a full copy of your LinkedIn profile, but it's good to have a record of this before you start making any changes. I recommend that you put in today's date back to front, put dashes between words, put your name in, put LinkedIn and profile, and save it to your computer. And that way you know that this is what your LinkedIn profile looked like on that particular date. And then you can save it again and maybe right after edits on that file. So that's the basic backup. The secondary backup is if you click on the Me menu and you choose Settings and Privacy, over on the left, you can choose Data Privacy, and then you can choose Get a Copy of Your Data on the top right. And I recommend that you choose Download Larger Archive and press the Request Archive button. Now, what LinkedIn will do is they will prepare the full archive of everything you've done on LinkedIn. They will then send you an email with a link. You need to click on that link immediately and download those files. One of the most interesting ones is the connections file, which will show you the first name, last name, current job, and current company of all of the people you're connected to. So that's a really handy reference to have. And you might better go through and check the details of other people you've worked with and make sure that that's all in there. So that's the other. They'll send you two emails and you can do that. So that's the two backups, saved PDF and in the settings. Now, the next thing we're going to go through is just the essential settings. So if we click on Account Preferences on the top left, I normally turn autoplay videos off to save your data when you're out and about on your mobile device. The other one I like to turn off is People Also Viewed, because what you don't want to happen is somebody to look at your LinkedIn profile and say people who looked at you also looked at all these other people. So the only time you'd turn that one on is late at night if nobody's watching and you can see who your competitors are. The next setting I'd like to recommend is sign-in and security and email addresses. And I recommend that you add every email address that you've ever had, including your current work email address, to the account, and then perhaps select your primary email address to be your personal email address. But the benefit of having your email address on here is that if anybody syncs their LinkedIn account with their phone contacts or their email contacts, it will help them find you and remain connected with you. So I do recommend that you add any email addresses you've ever had to your account and verify those, and never remove them, but just make sure the primary email is the one that's most relevant. The next one here in visibility is profile viewing options. Now, I like to keep my name and headline visible. So if I look at someone's LinkedIn profile, it will say so. But if you're doing a little bit of research and you don't want someone to know that you've looked at them, you can turn on private mode. And even if they're a premium member, they won't see that you have looked at them. Also in here under visibility, there's a few other settings, but the one that is important is share profile updates with your network. And I recommend that you turn that one off, because you don't want to be updating LinkedIn and sending out notifications to people. There are a lot of other settings via that left menu and then whatever pops up on the right-hand side. But the one that could be important for you is notifications. Now, I receive a lot of connection requests, and I do not want an email every time somebody wants to connect with me. So I've gone into connecting with others, invitations to connect, and I've turned off email. Now, you might feel similarly that you don't want millions of emails from LinkedIn in your inbox. So you might like to go through all of these settings as well and turn off the email notifications. So we've done the backup, we've done the most important settings. Feel free to go through all the other settings in your own time. Now what we'll do is we'll go to your LinkedIn profile. Now, when you visit your own LinkedIn profile, the URL at the top of the screen is likely to be first name dash last name and a whole bunch of numbers and letters. So this is the number one tip I really want you to do, is to go over here where it says public profile and URL, click the pen and change it to just your name. If that's not available, try putting a dash in. If that's not available, you could put your post nominals in. I've got a Bachelor of Business, or you could just put a number, or you could do something that's similar to your handle on other social media. But the goal is you must change it. What that does is it search engine optimizes your name in Google search results, and it also looks a lot better on your resume, business card, email signature, whatever. It just looks a lot better. So make sure you change that and save it. You can also, if you want to, turn off your visibility here, and you need to make sure that all these are turned on. So back to your LinkedIn profile. Your photograph is very important. Your eyes should be on the 1/3 line, your hair at the top of the circle, and if you can wear a high neck garment, what that does is it frames your face, and up to 65% of the time will be spent looking at your photograph. So I do recommend that you make that photograph look how you would like to look for the ideal types of roles or promotions that you would like to receive. Now, this here is a picture, 1284 by 396 pixels. You can just have a solid color. You can see here I've put in my books and a little bit of text, but that's still an image. And some people put nice pictures of where they work or a company logo. It's up to you, but something in there, 1284 by 396 pixels is the go. Now, your headline. This is one of the most important sections on your LinkedIn profile, and I recommend that you give yourself a label. Now, I'm going to be demonstrating adding in a role for a project coordinator. So if this was me being a project coordinator, I would say something like consultative project coordinator. So that's consultative is not normally a word you'd see with project coordinator, but it makes me memorable, and it makes people, when they see that in the news feed or when they look at my LinkedIn profile, it gives them a really quick assessment of what I can do. And then after that, I recommend that you put in a whole bunch of keywords. So I could say, working with project teams and management to deliver projects, coordination, reporting, feedback, evaluations, whatever keywords are related to that particular type of role. This headline is the #1 spot for keywords, which are the words you would like to be found for either a promotion or a new role. So, or even a sideways move, or if you want to move into a different career, you could just change the headline and you will come up in different search results. You can see here I've also put a little emoji at the end, and that's so I can look cool but not too cool. And because I'm a woman of a certain age, I've chosen a dancing lady because I'm a very active person. And so that's the headline. Now, there are lots of other sections that I'll be covering either in one-on-one sessions or in the how to use LinkedIn session. But what I would like to show you, you can add featured, lots of different things you can add in. And the about section is important. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, all right, maybe you haven't updated your LinkedIn profile in quite a while and you have a role at Newcrest Mining and you want to add that into your LinkedIn profile. So you might have updated your resume, but not updated your LinkedIn profile. So if I go back to the resume that I've created, you can see here that I've called this role project coordinator. So I can copy that. And I'm not only going to leave project coordinator, but I'll also add in some more keywords because this current job title is the most important on your LinkedIn profile. So VAs, management, reporting, coordination, reports. I don't know, you might want to have some strategy. You know, you can just put in as many words as you like, and then you can choose the type of employment that it is. Now, when you put in the name of the company, the goal is to find it and then select it so that the logo comes in there. Now, if you choose a city, it can either be just the city, but I tend to prefer the greater area because that puts you in a wider search range. And you might be on site or hybrid or working remote. And I think I've said in this role, April 2018 till now. And we're not going to end any of the current positions. You can choose an industry and then your description. Now, the way I like to write descriptions is achievements in past tense, tasks in present tense, and then a description of the organisation and a link. So it's very similar to the resume. So I'm going to paste all of that in, but I'm also going to add in the Newcrest website link. And if you wanted to, you could put your email address in there as well. And I might add in project coordination, if it's available. Yeah, I've already run out of skills, but you can see there that you can add in skills related to this role. I'm just trying to think what I've got that might be, yeah, so I've already got these skills. So I can say, okay, program management for this one. And then it asked me to add media. So that's why I had to have the YouTube channel open, and I found this fantastic video. So I'm going to copy the YouTube link for that. And I'll pop that in here. Description, mining process, rest. And you can change the thumbnail if you want, but now this looks a lot better on your LinkedIn profile, and it helps people understand what your capabilities are. Obviously, I'll be deleting it because I don't work for Newcrest, but you can see how that looks, and it's nice and easy to read even on a mobile device. So that's why that's all really, really helpful there. Okay, so the next thing, there's many different sections you can fill in. That's the most important. I really encourage you to fill in education as well. And you can see here with my degree, I've even listed all my subjects as well as topics, because these are all great keywords. So if you can dig out your academic transcript from your studies and fill that in as well, that would be fantastic. If you're a member of organisations, you can fill in that. Projects, you can write those up. If you do volunteer work, skills. Now you can add 50 skills to your account, and then you want to shuffle them around. So if you choose reorder, you can then use the little hamburger here and slide whichever ones you want to be the top three. The top three are the most important, and then you can slide the rest around as you wish. But the most you can have is 50, but you can see you can add the skills in the skills section, but you can also add them in the experience section or the education section and so on. And then as we go down the LinkedIn profile, you'll see there's recommendations that you've both given and received, and publications, courses, honours and awards, test scores, languages you can add. And then again, if you're a member of an organisation, you can add those in there as well. So feel free to stalk my LinkedIn profile as many times as you like to see how I filled it in, because you'll get a lot more out of the one-on-one session if you have filled in as much information as possible. And that would be really, really helpful. To add a section, you just choose add profile section, and it will give you the different choices in there. Now, the final thing I'd like to show you is your statistics. So this helps determine whether all these suggestions I'm making are going to be working for you. So the first statistic I like people to write down is the number of people in their network. So you can see here I've got 24,310 people in my network. The next one is if you go to linkedin.com/feed/followers, you can see how many followers you have, and I've got more followers than connections. So technically that makes me a thought leader. Now, the next two are the ones that I find the most valuable. The first one is related to the they've moved it again. Here we go, analytics. The number of views you've had in the last 90 days. Now, this number, if your LinkedIn profile is working for you, should be over 100, and that's for 90 days. And this is search appearances in 7 days, and that number should be over 50. So it's a good idea to write these numbers down because they're real time only. So if you're doing the edits on your LinkedIn profile today, you've got a record of your statistics today, then in 3 months' time, you can see how those numbers, or even in a week's time, you can see how those numbers have changed. I also love clicking on here to see who has been looking at me, because that will then help me work out whether my LinkedIn profile is working for me, whether there's been any specific changes, whether my clients are doing their homework, all of the above. So really good to keep an eye on those two statistics. Now, the next one is the number of skills and recommendations. So if we go down to skills, my top 3: writing, LinkedIn training, and consulting. And what I can do is I can work out what the number is for each of those. So I'm pretty sure if I go back to reorder, oh no, they've moved the number of where you see how many people have voted for you. Show all 22 details. Yeah, it looks like they're not showing us how many votes we've had for it anymore. Okay, so yeah, it's only showing where the skills are, not how many votes we've had. It used to show how many votes we had. Oh, well, that's something that's changed. But make sure your top 2 or 3 are most related to the area you would like to be working in, both now and in the future. Now, here under recommendations, you can see I've received 100 and I've given 70. And so it's a good idea if you can make sure those numbers are reasonably similar. So they're all the stats that I like to recommend that you keep. Now, whilst you are still working in a location, I recommend that you search for all of your colleagues. I'll just type in a Mary Smith name and make sure that you connect with all of your fellow colleagues at work. And because if you ever leave an organisation, people might change their email address, they'll change their phone number, they might change their location, their job, whatever, but they usually keep the same LinkedIn profile. So it's really good to start building your connection. Now, let's say I actually had a Mary Smith in my connections. Doesn't look like I do. We'll just type in Mary. And here's Mary Philippou. She's a connection of mine. Now, if I wanted to write a recommendation for her, because she's already connected, first level, I just press on this More button and I can choose Recommend. And then it will go through and say how I know her and what her position was at the time. And then I can write my recommendations. Now, I don't remember when I met Mary, but let's say I met her at a networking event and then we worked on a project together and these sort of things happened. And then I'd wish her all the best in the future. And I'd actually put my name in the recommendation box because people might not look at who gave it, but they normally read all the text. So I put my name in there as well. And then I'd send it off to Mary. And then Mary could decide yay or nay whether she wants to add that to her LinkedIn profile. Likewise, I could also ask Mary to write a recommendation for me. And so you might wish to be strategic about that and ask people to write recommendations for you. So again, relationship, position at the time, and then you can include a personalized message. And then that would just be one click and Mary can write the recommendation for me. So I recommend a minimum of 6 recommendations, both given and received. Now, the other thing that I like you to think about is when you are scrolling through the news feed, it is a good idea to like stuff occasionally. There's various reactions you can choose, and also to comment. And if you can do that at least once a week, that helps the algorithm know that you're alive and kicking. You could also consider writing a post. Now, it says here you can add a picture, talk about a job, write an article. But if you click in here, you can also see that you can create an event, you can celebrate an occasion, share that you're hiring, create a poll, add a document, so a Word or PowerPoint you save as PDF, you can add that up. It looks a great slideshow, and also find an expert. So there's actually lots of things that you can post in the news feed. So please let me know if you have any questions. The other section I do encourage you to fill in is this contact info. You can see my websites there, my phone number, my email address. Feel free to connect with me. You will see on my LinkedIn profile, there's only a follow button. So you will need to press the More button to choose Connect. I look forward to seeing you at a one-on-one. I hope this video has been helpful to you. I'm more than happy to answer quick questions via email. Please enjoy the process of updating your LinkedIn profile. It's something that if you don't do it at the time, you're likely to forget. And it's not about what you had for breakfast. It's not revealing personal information. Please don't reveal anything commercially sensitive, but just talk to your skills. That's what people want to know that you have, so that from day one, you might not be 100% competent, but you will at least be 60% competent with the skills to acquire more knowledge and experience over time. So again, thank you and all the best. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks and bye for now.